Okay, welcome to this class for creating your writing space in hypnosis. And I'm really glad that you're all here. Please keep yourself muted unless you're responding to me, and know that I am recording this. So I'm glad that everyone is so interested in this. I feel like hypnosis is making more strides into everyday life and more people are using it for all kinds of things. So let me just tell you about a little about me, my background. So I have been a writing teacher for 25 years and a writer for as long as I could do this, which was, you know, pretty much when I was in elementary school. I wrote a poem for the janitor who had died at our school, and truth be told, I did not remember that janitor, but my poem still won the contest, and I was there. It was printed on a plaque, and his wife came there and they presented it and my poem, and I remember, like she was crying, and I was like, this is the emotional power of words. Even though I do not remember this janitor at all, I was able to write a poem that his wife is in tears over. I'm sure she would be in tears anyway at the ceremony, but nonetheless, that is my start in writing. So, but my start with using these kind of tools with teaching writing began when I was teaching writing at the Grotto, and I started to get more into looking at the unconscious roots of writing, into how in other periods of times, people using automatic writing, the surrealists using dream, all of these kind of ways of getting into writing have always been intensely interesting to me. Always been interested in, where does writing come from? Where does inspiration come from? How do we use the unconscious mind, and how do we use those tools purposefully to help our writing? So I was teaching a class there that I still teach, called Pushing the Boundaries, where we look into surrealism and we look into postmodernism and different uh, Olipo. I've never really known if I'm saying that right or pronouncing that right, but using constraints, using automatic writing, using dream, using trance to get into states. So all of that I was interested in. And then at some point during that time, I started studying hypnosis. And I would say my journey to hypnosis was partly a journey about my own mental health problems. I have been someone who has had mental health issues through the years. I've been diagnosed with OCD. And so I was using hypnosis for my own mental health and to help me to stay focused, to help me deal with my own anxiety, to have more sense of flow in my writing. And so when I teach trance writing and I teach other classes like a women's creative self-nurturing class, I use those tools to help people to deal with their own minds and to sometimes I say about writers like that it's like we're like Buddhist monks without a mantra, without a focus. So because the idea is, okay, sit in this room alone with your own effing mind for hours, days, weeks, and don't go crazy, And it can be really hard because, as we know, our own mind is a tricky place, and most writers are sensitive people who have a lot going on in there. And so how do we channel all of these talents that we have, these beautiful skills that we have to make the janitor's wife cry, and do it without crying ourselves? Those are some of the things that I work with in my writing. And so my own struggle to increase my creativity and to deal with my anxiety, I started using hypnosis. And in my trance writing classes, which are classes that I've created myself, and so I teach at the Writers Grotto in San Francisco, and then I teach my own classes. And the trance writing classes, I've used things that I've learned from traditional hypnosis and geared them towards writing. So what is hypnosis? So this is kind of a one of those big unanswerable kind of questions that hypnotists like to debate about and to talk about. And one idea about it is it's a state of increased suggestibility and focus. And so we often have the idea, though, and it's shown in movies. I don't know if anyone saw like the movie like Get. I hate to even mention it because it was a wonderful movie, but because the hypnotist was so evil. But actually, other hypnotist friends said that after people saw Get Out, that has a evil hypnotist in it, that actually people it increased their business. People were like, "Oh, this must be powerful," and so movies like Get Out, where you see the hypnotist in this idea of a character who is exerting power over someone, someone who is the suggestibility is basically do my will, do my bidding. So that's a common idea about hypnosis, and it is something that you see traditionally in movies like that and in a lot of horror type movies. But the idea that I have about suggestibility and that is in modern hypnotherapy is basically you are giving the suggestions to yourself. So if our brain is in some ways like a computer, and we're basically programming it toward the suggestions that we want, because there are many things going on in our minds, and we are trying to create more of the suggestions of the kind of things that we want in our lives, like more relaxation, more flow, answers to our things that we feel are problems in our lives. And so the hypnotist helps a person to get into a state where they have more creativity and they have more of their own answers to their issues, um, never telling someone what the answer would be, but always knowing that you already have the answers within your own unconscious mind. Another definition is meditation with a goal. And this can help people who have already been meditators because they're familiar with that state. And so it would be it's similar to meditation, but instead of the sort of open focus state of meditation, having a goal in mind. And this is very important, the idea of intention. And I would say, even if you know nothing about hypnosis, even if you don't know about self-hypnosis, the idea of just setting an intention for change and allowing your unconscious mind to work on that intention is a very powerful thing, because we feel like when we are going through our lives, and I feel like it right now, that I'm talking to you, and I'm this conscious mind, this ego who is in charge of everything that I'm doing, and you are there with your conscious minds listening. And it's important to have our conscious minds here. But 90% of what we experience and what we feel, for example, like our first impression upon seeing a person, whether we like them or not, all of these are happening in our unconscious mind. So at the same time that I'm here with my conscious mind, talking to you with your conscious mind, both of our unconscious minds, or all of our, in this case, all of our unconscious minds are also present here. And they are doing their own work and having their own feelings. So sometimes when we're trying so hard, and trying so hard is something that we all do, to do something, and often that thing can be writing. When we're trying so hard with our conscious mind, sometimes our unconscious mind gets in the way. And in the same way, we can allow things to be worked through in our unconscious mind without trying at all. So I usually use the word trance instead of hypnosis because it is a broader definition of what we're working with here. And I think more people know what trance is and know that it's something that they've already experienced in their life. So if we put something in this smaller category of hypnosis, which is, a series of techniques that have been invented in the past several hundred years to get into these states of increased suggestibility and increased creativity and problem solving, then within the broader scope of trance is something that all people have been experiencing in all times, and something that's part of religious ritual. It would be, for example, drumming, chanting. I think sex is a form of trance. In modern days, the idea of going into the temple of the movie theater and being there with the movie, and you sort of forget everything else that's going on in the world, and your own personal reality is subsumed in this picture on the screen. That too is a kind of trance. And so if you broaden your definition of what's possible in trance, you can see that trance is a state that you can go into and out of all the time through your day, daydreaming, reading a book and being totally engulfed in that world. I think the truth is that as humans, we don't want to stay inside of our small selves at all times. We have a yearning to be outside of that. And we find different ways through art, through meditation, and through dance, to, for a moment, let go of our small self ego for a bit and be part of something that feels larger than ourselves and has more a sense of open awareness. And so I think that is something that we're always seeking out, and that's why we do many of these things. And of course, the modern resurgence of the psychedelic movement would be also part of that search for connection with something beyond ourselves. So what I want to start with here, so I've been talking a lot, and I want to start with a little introspection for you within yourself. And what I would like you to do is think about one thing in the area of writing that you feel has been, okay, we're not in hypnosis yet, where we in hypnosis we don't say things like problem, but since we're just warming up to it, we'll say a problem that's been labeled that way for you right now. So this one thing, and maybe it's like, I don't write enough, or maybe it's, I've been working on this book for 8 years and I don't know how to finish it. So whatever that one thing is, and just, be good to yourself, just focus on one. Often when we solve one thing, then a snowball effect happens and more things can be solved. So think about that one thing that you want help with, and take a moment and just see that problem and form it into a shape or a symbol, just one little shape or symbol. Could be anything. And have you ever noticed how other people's problems are always easier to solve than your own? I mean, maybe not everyone. There are some people with big problems, but in general, when we look at someone else's problem, we see, oh, I could do this, this, and this. Oh, yeah. I wonder why that's such a problem for them. And one of the reasons that is because we're seeing the problem from outside instead of inside. And often with our own problems, we feel that we are inside the problem. It's almost as if there's a little bubble and we are inside of it. So go ahead and for a moment, and if your eyes aren't shut, just shut your eyes down, relaxing. And picture a little bubble around yourself that is what you thought was a problem. And now picture yourself stepping out of that bubble. And that bubble is still there behind you, that you can turn around and look at it. And if it is that shape or symbol that you visualized earlier, notice how it looks outside of yourself. And notice if there's anything that you would want to do to that shape or symbol to change it. And knowing this is the world of your imagination, you can make a change to that shape or symbol and change it into something that you might actually want to step back into. And what would be a bubble? So beautiful feeling, so luscious that you would want to actually be inside of it. So loving, so kind that you could actually want to have it around you. And now I want you to make a choice. And you can either pop that bubble and have it just disappear, or if you've changed it in a way that you'd actually like to be inside of it, you can go ahead and step back into that bubble and feel it inside of you in a whole new way. Okay, so go ahead and coming back. And I hope that whatever insights come up for you today, that you can have a journal and write down. Some people might have their journals with them right now, or write down afterwards whatever changes, knowing that you're also seeing things in your unconscious mind that might come up later in dreams or in discoveries or in walks, where you just have a new feeling about what you once thought was real. So we're going to play a little game now with our eyes. First of all, I just wanted to tell you a little about any of the myths that you might have about hypnosis for people who have never experienced this before. I mean, one thing is that you will be in control at all times and you can come out of it whenever you would like to. The other thing is that you're only taking suggestions that you actually want for your own mind. And if something would happen and Zoom comes out, you'll be able to come back and wake up easily. As I said, this is more similar to a trance state, which you're already familiar with, than something that would seem like power over you. It's more empowering for yourself. So you're always in control. And all hypnosis is a form of self hypnosis because it's the suggestions that you already want to receive. So, with that in mind, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes down. And as you're closing your eyes down, I want you to imagine and pretend for a moment that your eyes are stuck shut. And they're comfortably stuck shut. And see the face of a person that you love. And as you're seeing the face of that person that you love and feeling your love for them, you notice that your eyes are simply stuck shut. And you can try to open them, but they remain comfortably stuck shut as long as you are focused on that love that you feel for them and they feel for you. And go ahead and trying to open your eyes and letting go and realizing the more that they are closed, comfortably shut, you feel that love for that person. And allow that love to flow through you from head to toe. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to become unstuck and come back for a moment. That's right. And now we're going to create that place that we've been talking about. And when you signed up, you wanted to create a beautiful place in your unconscious mind where you could go for writing. And this is the place that you can return to again. And to return to it again, you can just close your eyes down and remember the place as we're going to create it in a moment. And know that this is your safe place for writing. And we're going to begin this with what I like to do sometimes, and that is an eye roll. And an eye roll is also a very quick way to get yourself into this hypnotic trance state. The eyes are very connected with these states of consciousness. The eyes and the breath, of course, are two of the simplest ways to change our states of consciousness. And so for this, I want you to just go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do it. Rolling your eyes back in your head like that. Take a deep breath and let it go. Yeah, I'm already. I'm already a little different after that. So go ahead and roll your eyes back, taking a deep breath, the deepest breath you can. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and let go. That's right. And one more time, taking a deep breath, holding it, and letting go. That's right. And you can just let those eyes stay comfortably closed, or close them now if they're not already closed. That's right. And knowing it's fine at any time to adjust your body how you need to feel the most comfortable. So I want you to take a few deep breaths, noticing your breath. On this journey, we're going to go to a place. It might be a real place in the real world, or an imaginary place in an imaginary world. In any case, it feels real, and that is what is most important. It feels good. It feels safe. It feels comfortable to be in your writing place. This is a place where writing flows like water flowing from a strong waterfall. I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath. And letting go. We're going to open and close our eyes a few times, each time going deeper. So go ahead, open your eyes and closing. That's right. Going deeper. And one more time, opening your eyes, and they might feel heavy, and you just want to close them, going deeper. I want you to imagine there's a light coming and touching your head. And as it touches your head, it brings with it a wave of relaxation. You feel that light touching your head, and you can make it any color that you like, the most relaxing, most comforting color for you. And that light comes down through your head, relaxing your face, relaxing the little muscles around your eyes, down through your chest, relaxing your chest, your shoulders, your arm, going all the way down through your torso. Relaxing your legs, relaxing your back, all the way down through your feet. And when that light, that wave of relaxation reaches your feet, it grows down in the earth like roots of a tree. And you feel yourself connected down into the earth. And from those roots down into the earth, you feel the energy of the earth coming up into your body, that beautiful earth energy, what you feel when you're alone in nature, that sense of awe and beauty, that sense of wow, just coming into your feet, up through your body, relaxing you, filling you up with that beautiful wonder energy all the way up to your head. In a moment, I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to imagine you are in a special place in nature, a place where you love and you feel comfortable. It's not your writing place yet, just a place. Maybe it's a beach or a meadow where you feel safe and comfortable. That's right. However, you're doing this right now is perfect. 1, 2, 3. And finding yourself in a place that you love in nature. Go ahead and breathe into that place, noticing anything you see, feel, or hear here. Noticing how it feels to just be in this beautiful place in nature. A beach, a waterfall, any place you feel safe, connected, and peaceful. And feel a sense of peace and unlimited imagination. And in this place, there is a doorway. It could be just an imaginary doorway there in the middle of everything. Or maybe it's a little hole in an old tree. Or maybe it's a hole in the earth. On the other side of this magic doorway is your writing place, a place where you feel entirely safe writing, where you write with ease and flow, a place where your inner critic is on the other side of the door. And you picture the door any way you want. And in a moment, we're going to open that door or go through that special portal into your writing place. So take a moment and prepare to enter the sacred place where your imagination is valued as the valuable resource it is. And go through the doorway into your writing place. And you can imagine it any way you like. I don't know if it's a beautiful library with all of your books and the perfect lighting, or maybe it is an outdoor space with lovely nature where you feel joy writing. However you imagine it, allow yourself to see all of the details. Look around and notice what you've created in your writing space. What does it feel like being here? Are there any sounds here? What is the light like here? What books or supplies are here? And I want to give you a magic wand, and I'm giving it to you now. If there's anything you want to change in your writing space to make it a place where you feel safe, where you feel inspired, passionate, and open to your imagination, go ahead and use your magic wand and do all of the interior decorating changes that you want to make it the perfect space for you. And if there is anything that you noticed earlier that was bothering you about your writing, you notice that there is a box here that you can put any of your worries or concerns about writing. And go ahead and putting anything you want into that box, knowing in that box your unconscious mind will take care of all of those things, working through anything you want without you even thinking about it. And go ahead and close that box tightly. You don't need to think about it or dwell on it. The issue is transforming on its own, as we're all transforming every day. Each new trance that we're forming is a new opportunity for growth. And I want you to notice what your body feels like in your writing place. Breathe into it. And do a little scan of your body here. Maybe you feel younger here, knowing that anything is possible. Your imagination is safe here. And if there's any part of your body that feels like it needs a little love, go ahead and imagine that light from earlier that came, touched your head, and moved through your body. And allow that light to go to that place in your body that needs a little love, a little lightness. And picture yourself at a younger age when you felt like you could just make things and be with your own creativity. And it can be any age, as young as you need to go before you started to judge those beautiful marks you were making all over the paper or the walls. And when you see that part of you that was still able to just make your creative marks, your writing, your drawing, or your painting, connect with those wild ideas of the child, just able to feel and to express, to play with color, to play with sound, to listen to words and hear the interesting lollipop sounds of different words. Balloon, mouth candy. And as you bring that young creative self back into your older self, looking around again in your writing place, I want you to find the spot in here where you're actually going to sit down and write, or stand up if you like to stand, and find that space and go to it. And when you're comfortable there, I want you to go ahead and in your imagination, notice yourself writing there. Notice the ideas coming to you and you accepting them, saying yes to them, allowing them to flow. And you notice when you're open like this, so many ideas are coming to you, so many new ideas, so many memories and feelings. And there's a sense of excitement about all of the ideas that you have within you, all of the infinite number of possibilities for things to write about, for people, for stories. And all of those are inside your own vast, wide imagination as you sit there and write. And knowing any story can only be written one moment at a time, it's perfectly fine to hold that vast multitude and still focus on one particular moment, one idea, one breath. And as you see yourself there, feel yourself there writing, I want you to think of the word flow and keep that word in your mind, knowing that anytime you see or say to yourself the word flow with the intention of returning to this state, you can return to this state whenever you want. In the future, when you want to return to this state of peace and flow, you can just see or say the word flow, FLOW, and return to this state of flow, confidence, creativity, wild imagination that is your natural gift. I'm going to give you a moment alone in your writing place to do whatever you like, to write, to make changes, or just to be quiet, sealing in this place as a place you can always return to. And for a moment, I'm going to talk to your unconscious mind, knowing that you don't really need to listen to this with your conscious mind. This writing state, this flow state, is a place you can naturally come to whenever you want, when you see or say the word flow with the intention of coming to this state. And earlier, you thought of something that in your mind you wanted to work on. And I just want you to allow this part of you to take whatever that symbol was and go ahead and change it into something that will be of benefit to both of you. And I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to go ahead and change that thing. 1, 2, 3, changing it in some way. And whether you consciously remember it or not, you've allowed that thing inside of you that you had labeled as a problem to be changed in some way, to become new, to be more open to possibilities, to allow it to be seen as if from the outside. So whatever you thought was an issue before, you realize in the days and weeks to come is no longer bothering you at all, because you've stepped outside of it into another world. And I don't care if you remember it or not, because what is most important is the change that you're making to allow yourself to become the writer that you would like to be. And in a moment, we're going to come back, allowing these positive feelings of creativity, play, and joy, of new possibilities to grow stronger and stronger through the days as you continue to relax more and to return to these states of writing and flow whenever you'd like. Before you go, remember this writing place and what it feels like to be here. And you can go ahead and take a snapshot in your mind of your writing place as it is transformed. I'm going to count to 5 and bring you back, and you'll come back feeling refreshed, awake, and ready to go on with your day. 5, starting to come back. 4, aware of yourself in your room. 3, knowing you will come back awake and alert. 2, coming back. 1, all the way back, awake and alert. So, I don't know if anyone, is there anyone who wants to share anything about what they saw in their writing place? It's optional.
So I have something to share.
Yes.
I had gone through with something similar with you in another class, and it actually took me back to that time. And it took me back to, and you know, the I don't have, you said don't use the word problem, and I didn't think of any problem, but it took me back to something we did there where we were thinking of describing each other, introducing each other in a cubist manner. And so there wasn't any particular objects or details of the space I was in, but I was in an internal memory of a space that reminded me of something that inspired me and wanted me to go back to it. And I was thinking, okay, I want to use those strategies again. So it was more of an internal writing space.
Great. Yes. I mean, I think, and I know sometimes people get inspired and they just come out of trance and write or whatever, and that's fine too. I mean, I think that the purpose of these learning these things is to then lead them into inspiration. So however it works for you personally. But yes, often lots of memories from the past, and sometimes things that you wrote about in the past can come up as maybe something that your unconscious is telling you, like, hey, go back to me. I I was a good idea. I have something here for you. So great. Thank you. Is there anyone else who wanted to share anything or any questions about the process or about? No questions. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to you a little about my upcoming class if people are interested in it. And then I'm going to just lead you into an exercise for automatic writing. And then you can use that to do some writing on your own. I think, I know people, because I'm recording it, people are probably more hesitant to talk. And so the class that I am teaching, that is, I moved it back, so it's not starting this Monday, but it's starting a week from Monday, and is my trance writing class. And in that class, we use a lot of these tools, and I teach self-hypnosis so that you're able to use self-hypnosis with yourself. We do automatic writing, and I take you into hypnotic journeys for seeing a character that you are interested in writing about, and for being in a scene from your writing. I also have a trance where you go into a movie theater and see a film, basically like a film of the book or the story that you're working on. We also do dream work and use dreams to write from, to influence our writing. In the automatic writing, I mostly you can use it for writing that you want to work on, but I also believe in it as a tool of intuition that you can use to make decisions about your life, to kind of get in touch with a higher part of you that knows the intuitive answer to some of the questions that, you know, we might all be struggling with as we try to make decisions in our life. Like, to me, it's almost like my own meditation to do the automatic writing and to receive my guidance for the day, for my life, through that form of being in touch with higher self or something greater than myself. Whether you think that is, doesn't matter if you have a spiritual belief or you just feel like a more integrated wholeness of yourself, or a Jungian concept. So those are some of the things. I will be sending you some more information about that if you want to do that in the future. So that I'm teaching that class on Zoom. It's going to be on Monday nights Pacific and 6 to 8 Pacific Standard Time. So I want to send you off with some writing. So hopefully everyone has a journal or something to write in. Because one of the things that I love to do is to do trance states to get people into doing automatic writing. Now, automatic writing can mean a lot of things to different people. So this is something that also that has been practiced by the surrealist Andre Breton and by many different people. There can be the concept of channeling, which is another form of automatic writing, where channeling is usually like you're channeling someone else, like Seth, or I'm not Book of Miracles, I think was Course in Miracles, I think was channeled. I don't really get into that or know whether I don't I don't really lead people in that type of channeling. I mean, if it comes up for you, it comes up for you. What I tend to feel about channeling is that tune into your own channel. I think we can all channel. So rather than me like reading something that someone else channeled, I would rather just like get in touch with my own intuition and like open my own channel, because I don't even know. It's hard to know like what to trust or what is real. Whereas when I feel like I get in touch with my own intuitive guidance, that's for me. So that's what I usually follow. But outside of the spiritual realm, channeling, this type of automatic writing is just a way to kind of get in touch with more ideas and what you want to write about. So I'm going to, this one is based on the hand. So I think what's going to happen here is that I'm going to lead you into this, and then there will be automatic, and then I'll allow you to do some automatic writing at the end. And if you would like to leave, then you can. If not, I will we'll probably have you an automatic writing for 10 minutes. And if anyone has any questions, I'll stay here, and I will stay here until 11:30 if anyone has questions about the upcoming class, about trance, about anything, anything I'm qualified to answer. No medical advice. And certainly no technical assistance, but other than that, willing to give it a try. So yes, I've started a YouTube channel, and I have a video up there about trance writing, and I'm going to be doing more. And I think I'm going to start doing also interviews with other writers about process and prompts. So if you are a writer and you would like to be interviewed about that, the idea would be like, I'm going to ask people sort of what was the process of writing this book, and how did that go for you, and any challenges you had, and then we'll end it with a writing prompt for people, so that it kind of has something for to help everyone who listens it to do their own writing also. So I want you to go ahead and have your writing tools available for later. And this is an induction that is based on your hand. So I want you to go ahead and hold up your hand and noticing your own hand. Go ahead and looking at your hand for a moment. And I want you to go ahead and notice the lines on your hand. Noticing the palm of your hand, the lines on it, and then opening your vision and noticing everything that is around your hand while still looking at your hand. It's interesting because you can just have your eyes in the same place and go from noticing your hand to noticing everything around your hand. Even what might be in between the little spaces between your fingers. And keeping on noticing that. And when we say, where does writing come from? We might answer the thoughts or the brain. But to be more precise, we would say from the hand. And noticing the little lines on your hand. Perhaps there's more than you even imagined, more tiny little lines on your hand. Some so slight that you can't even barely see them. And the differences in color on different sections of your hand. And that hand is starting to become heavier. It's almost as if it's made of stone. And allow that hand to just become heavier. And to drop down onto your lap or a table. And as it drops down, you realize you're in a beautiful trance, allowing your eyes to close as you're there now in the space between now and then. in the space between your fingers, between your hand and everything that is not your hand, then and now, taking a deep breath, counting to 5 in your mind. And when you open your eyes, you're going to find that your hand is light again, and your hand has ideas of its own. And open your eyes and write with your hand leading the writing, because the hand is where writing comes from. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm gonna